Polymers in Artificial Turf by me, Devin Flaherty. Going into why I decided to research artificial grass or turf, I've played soccer for a very, very long time, and most of that time on turf, since most schools and parks that I've played at use turf fields. Additionally, some of the greatest stages of sports, such as the NFL, also play on turf. Um, Also, I wanted to research more about the negative stigma surrounding turf. I feel like I hear a lot of negative talk about turf. People say it causes athlete injuries, damage the environment, stuff like that. And for those reasons, I decided to look more into artificial turf. Next, going into the materials of artificial turf. It's mainly composed of polymers, the different components of turf being pile fibers or the grass blades, the fiber backing, a foam abrasion pad, all of which being made of polymers, while the infill is typically rubber or sand granules. Here's a visual representation of this. As you can see, the pile fibers here, and then the infill rubber granules in between, the fiber backing, and the shock absorbent pad, and then the base, usually made of concrete that the turf is laid on. Next, what polymers are used and why? The most commonly used polymer is polyethylene, but to increase durability, copolymers such as ethylene octene copolymer, EOC slash polyethylene elastomer, POE, and ethylene butane copolymer, and then POE again, are used. These polymers increase the overall durability, and this is crucial due to the harsh use and weather conditions that the turf has to endure, uh, being rain, UV. They need to be flexible because they get stomped on, athletes fall, all that harsh use. Next, I wanted to go into potential future improvements because unfortunately there are some instances of negative environmental impact that turf can cause. Since it's pretty much entirely made of plastic and under conditions that it will eventually wear, especially without proper care, rubber granules and fibers that come off can be tracked off of people's shoes, break down into microplastics, and pollute the environment, water sources, all that, negatively harming the environment. Since these materials are not biodegradable, um, it just, the more rubber and plastic that gets into the environment, the more it breaks down, the more is trapped, and the worse it gets. One of the current leading research areas around turf is actually how to prevent environmental damage such as this. They're looking into potentially using biodegradable resources or finding resources that will not negatively harm the environment as much as these plastics do, especially since these plastics break down in microplastics and practically cannot be traced or found and make it a huge deal and very difficult to clean this pollution. And here's another diagram. This shows the tiny fibers that break off and can get tracked into rivers, into the sea, and pollute. In conclusion, artificial turf requires less maintenance than natural grass, is inexpensive in comparison, and it also allows for more safety with lack of variation compared to natural grass as well, since natural grass commonly has, at least from my experience, commonly has divots, holes you can step in, twist your ankle. It's not fun. As well as the additional shock absorption pad that decreases the impact force of falling athletes. It can increase safety as well. And then Also, the copolymers used allow for great durability against harsh weather conditions and use over lengthy periods of time. And thank you so much. That has been Polymers in Artificial Turf.